When you take the economy, when we listen to them, it's a pity. They don't even have the courage to make the people understand that there is less than 5% of economic exchange between the states of ECOWAS. Because everything we bring comes from space outside the ECOWAS. We import for the majority. And all what we export outside the ECOWAS. The intellectual dishonesty of some means that they cannot say because they are living room slaves. They cannot tell you so that you can be confident. But I invite you to remain confident. Confident, serene, imperturbable, because we can. We can have this independence, both on the food level and on the industrial level. It is possible, and we are launched on this path. So, the comments which turn to scare you, which turns you panic, you have to get rid of it. We will get to work, and we will get there. Returning to a general aspect in Africa, Thomas Sankara said that the slave who is not capable of assuming his revolt does not deserve that we pity his fate. He alone will answer for his misfortune if he has illusion about the suspicious condensation of a master who claims to free him. Only the struggle liberates. Africa, wake up. Africa, rise up. Africa without borders, and break the chain of neo-colonialism. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Comrades, I would therefore like us to give thanks to God, who showed us this day, and who allowed us to find ourselves here. Let us pay tribute to our FDS and our variant VDP who are fighting at the front. It is thanks to them that we can meet here to commune. Let us also pay tribute to you, that which we baptize. They watch over us day and night. And you watch over this transition. You watch over the route that we have traced. Thank you very much to you. Thank you very much to our religious and customary authorities who made efforts to support us for the mobilization of young people to be engaged within the VDP, who helped the FDS on the ground. Thank you very much for everyone to be here. We cannot make a revolution without communicating. Someone say you shouldn't talk too much, but when we don't talk, it's manipulation that takes over. Understand something. The father of the revolution communicated a lot. I am talking of Thomas Sankara. In one of his remarks, he told you this about imperialism is a bad student. When he is sent out of class, he comes back and always comes back. And I remember that in his address to the ECOWAS, he said that to break the umbilical cord which binds us to imperialism, do not look for a state tactician with smart fingers, a sharp chisel to break this cord, but rather, you will need to study lumberjack with a well-sharp axe to give a sharp blow and break the cord. That said it all. I will explain to you a little bit. 'How imperialism behaves. 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 'How imperialism be After the assassination of the father of the revolution, precisely the regime that imperialism wanted to install. In the 90s, you all remember a program which was imposed on us, the Structural Adjustment Program. It was a plan. I'll explain to you. By setting up a program in our region, you notice that over 2 decades that follow, all our factories which were in place were privatized. The economy has been unstructured. They have put in place a new colonial system, a system of wild capitalism which only benefits the leaders and their friends in restricted circles. On the side of the forces, they have done everything to dismantle our armies. They have set to lower the budget of the armies, no longer equip them, no longer train. What was done in the sub-region? Our armies were reduced. They were preparing the things. During this time, large countries like Niger and Mali experienced a resurgence of what they called the rebellion. Separatists coming in from nowhere trying to divide these countries. They do not succeed. But the outcome of their plan was that from 2010, that is, 20 years later, terrorism invited itself into our land. Indeed, we actually saw it born 20 years later. Individuals were chosen, and we just told them, go ahead and fight them. Their armies are unstructured. We work to ensure that this happens. They will never be able to stop you, and you will impose on them what we want. These individuals have recruited young, innocent, ignorant people in our different campaigns, to whom they inflict drugs and lead them to kill their compatriots, and evil was born. How did these individuals maintain themselves? Don't forget, here in Burkina Faso, we hosted terrorist leaders. It was well planned. And how to get there when these terrorists are going to launch? There was someone who could perhaps intervene in favor of our state. I name here the late General Mohamed Gaddafi. It was necessary to eliminate him. And one fine day, they came across him. They eliminated him. They again had in this plan the ingenious idea of putting all the sources of arms and ammunition at the disposal of these terrorists, who were therefore to destructure our sub-region. The plan was perfect, and from then on, they put themselves on battle order. They began to descend towards the south. We still remember when the regime in place in Bamako at the time appealed to foreign forces. They did not need more than a few hours to deploy. It was well prepared. They were deployed, and they pretended to stop terrorism. And immediately, we saw the installation of several foreign forces in Mali during 10 years. During these 10 years, when terrorism was contained in the north, it was invited in the south, and Burkina Faso was infested from 2015. Everything was well planned and well thought out. I still remember when we were in the north near Timbuktu. We saw special forces from these countries coming to overtake us to go deeper. And on their return, they were very red. They had small drilling machines and many other geological equipment that we were looking at. We were wondering, Where did they gain this red earth? Because by patrolling around, we have no red earth. Maybe they were digging, they were probing. We don't know what it is. The Malian sky no longer belongs to Malians. Everything was well thought out. When people who were fighting on the ground also made the observation and decided at one point to take responsibility, and yet they come out of nowhere. We are called putschists. We are not French. We do not understand what it means. And the local valet, who surely do not even understand the deep meaning of the word. We are called putschists. Very good. We also appropriate it over these years. As far as Burkina Faso is concerned, you must have noticed all the bodies have been unstructured. No more training, no more anything for the army. They impose on all our staff, all our schools, and all our strategic structures what they call military councils. When we revolted on September 30, 2022, the first thing was to try to find out what these military advisors are and where they were. So, we were able to identify that the evil is deep. The first thing was to ask them to leave our army. They left. And what I told you before, not for long. You can't hope to find your lost object by calling on the person who stole it from you to come and help you look for it. So we have to decide to make courageous decisions. What we decided to do didn't work without consequence, because when we already asked the advisors to leave, we failed demonstrations. We were made to understand that we will not be able to get by without them. Each time he told us, it translated into large-scale attack on the ground. We received the message. In 2023, we decided to tell the foreign forces present here to leave because we want to hide in Burkina Faso. They did not have it, surely appreciated. But why come and die in our land for us? We prefer to fight for ourselves. We ask that they return home. Unfortunately, I tell you here today, as I like to say, colonization returned. A group of Palo slaves who still do not understand at the time. Military officers wrote to us and approached us to tell us that it was a very bad decision, that we were not going to last 2 months. Files were written. We were sent these sheets to do a strategic analysis of their thought. We said, it's either we are sovereign or we remain slave forever. Indeed, when the last soldiers left Burkina Faso, we understood what it was about. The attacks followed immediately, from Tenaco to Patiaga and so on. But what they have forgotten is that the people of Burkina Faso had understood our message and has committed themselves on the same voices as us. We reorganized quickly, and suddenly we noticed that all the terrorists' sleeping cells wake up in Burkina Faso. We reorganized the army as quickly as possible, at an unparalleled speed. We created several units, and even if several more were to come, we will equip them. And today, this equipment continues because in the days to come, in the months to come, what you will see coming in Burkina Faso must make our army a power to be feared. We are not going to skip on the means. We have understood that the fight that is on the way against imperialism will be tough and very tough, but only the tough will pass. And the Burkina Faso people are very tough. We will pass. This is to tell you that imperialism have a lot of time when it wants to destabilize. It looks immediately. If it's not possible, it lays the groundwork to do it in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. But it has no interest in us being independent. Today, everything they want for Burkina Faso is a problem because they hope to bring their foreign forces here and recover the situation in 10 years and even in 20 years. But we will never let them achieve this objective. That is why we have won for more than 1 year. The local servant, the living room slave, so that they do not betray their homeland for the benefit of imperialism. Some of them understood, they put away. Others do not understand, perhaps believing themselves to matter. But today, we no longer have any feeling on this aspect that anyone who will betray their homeland for the benefit of imperialism will be treated as such. Returning to our famous ECOWAS. Since we decided to leave the ECOWAS, the living room slaves has been activated everywhere. They want to scare the people. They want to scare everyone. Thank God, in the recent past, there were only a handful of people who had the right to speak on TV sets. That's what they said. We were so ready for the gospel. Today, with new technologies, which of course have advantages and disadvantages, everyone has the right to speak. And I think the noise makers, they are the first to confirm this. Everyone can do the analysis on this situation. We can certainly make a mistake, but when someone comes to us, understand, we are very open to explain the procedures. Yeah, we will explain to you why we left the ECOWAS and where we are going. Remember that it was in 1975 that it was created, and it was created by the majority of putschist head of state, as they like to say. It was the military who took over power and who took the responsibility for creating ECOWAS so that there will be real economic growth and people decide their space. Later, the so-called Democrats invited themselves at the head of our state. They completely emptied the community of its foundation. When on July 26, Niger decides to take its destiny into its hands, we were surprised to see the ECOWAS appear suddenly with a force on standby. Where was this force when thousands and thousands of Nigerians were killed by these terrorists? Where was this force when thousands of Malians and Burkinabe died under the bullets of the terrorists? They said that by force they were going to dislodge the valiant sons of Niger who took the destiny of the country into their own hands. Do you believe that these are women who are in Niger? They are fighters there. The Nigerian army is a warrior. It has been fighting for years. It is not a private army or peacekeeping army. The army of the AES have decided to unite. We are waiting for these forces in waiting. It must be the so-called Democrats who understand. When thousands of Nigerians die in hospital beds due to lack of electricity or lack of medicine, it is a crime. They are responsible for this sanction. They are responsible for this death. The same thing is happening in Mali with the Burkina. We have indirect sanction because people must understand. When they take their instruction from the other side, they come, they do everything to apply it. It is shameful. Some have decided not to provide electricity to our countries. It is not free, we pay, and it contributes to the economy. And they try to make Mali suffer. And of course, by doing away of all the tax and no longer give electricity to Mali, hoping that the population will vote, it does not work. When it lasted, some were forced to make their people pay and to increase the cost of electricity. It will increase again. It gives us several lessons in the sense that the independence that we take, the sovereignty that we yet take, we must do everything to ensure that it is. They have given us very good lessons, and we understood very well. Some closed their ports, which moreover go against all international texts, because we cannot close the port to a landlord country. They did it. They violated the text. The international community did not say a word. No one spoke in ECOWAS. But in the port, we do not transit our goods for free. We pay. And those who are at the bottom are harvesting today the broken skin. And I think that is a lesson for them too, that they must not apply the instruction of their master. They must understand it forever. The ECOWAS has never made a press release to congratulate the victory of our army. Remember, it barely condemns lip service and very rarely when there are massacres. Where is this ECOWAS of the people? In short, we cannot say all the harm that has been done to our people, but we have decided in all soul and conscience to withdraw and concentrate on our common organization, that is the AES. That there is no fear, because by prospecting and getting to work, we notice one thing. Recently, some have decided to prohibit the export of certain food products to Burkina Faso. Very well. They have given a duration. We will ensure that at the end of this duration, we will prohibit the entry of this product into our territory. We are capable. We are capable. And we are very capable. We have had a lot of experience this year. And I can assure you that on the food side, Burkina can be self-sufficient. And we have great farmers. We will do everything possible so that our farmers can plow their land and cultivate with dignity. And I challenge anyone who doubt this, that if we decided today in Burkina Faso to be in 3 years or 5 years the first importer of cocoa, we will be. Because we can. On industrialization, several projects are in progress for 2024. We are not going to mention them here. But it's only because we are going to do everything so that this project see the light of day in 2024. When you take the economy, when we listen to them, it's a pity. They don't even have the courage to make the people understand that there is less than 5% of economic exchange between the states of ECOWAS. Because everything we bring comes from space outside the ECOWAS. We import for the majority. And all what we export outside the ECOWAS. The intellectual dishonesty of some means that they cannot say because they are living room slaves. They cannot tell you so that you can be confident. But I invite you to remain confident. Confident, serene, imperturbable, because we can. We can have this independence, both on the food level and on the industrial level. It is possible, and we are launched on this path. So, the comment which turn to scare you, which turns you panic, you have to get rid of it. We will get to work, and we will get there. Returning to a general aspect in Africa, Thomas Sankara said that the slave who is not capable of assuming his revolt does not deserve that we pity his fate. He alone will answer for his misfortune if he has illusion about the suspicious condensation of a master who claims to free him. Only the struggle liberates. And I am going to tell you that if to free himself, a slave has illusion about the providence of a belief that his master imposed on him to keep him in the darkness, he sticks his finger in the eye. You will remain forever blind in the darkness, and you will never see the day. God himself said God does not like the lazy. God does not like the ignorant. God does not like the one who does not fight, because, let's say, help yourself and the sky will lose. And I will not ignore part of the slogan. Therefore, pioneers who live among us today dare to fight, know how to win. We dare to fight in the AS, and we will win. Have no fear. The day before citizens that you have committed. It is a message for all of Africa. And Burkina Faso is in solidarity and support all the people of Africa who suffer martyrdom. But we also want to say that it is time for Africa to stop feeling sorry for themselves. Mobbing, lamenting. We must fight. It will not come from heaven alone. You have to fight first, and God will help you. And Burkina Faso is ready to help all the people who are fighting. Tell them, to all these people who are fighting, it is time that they tell the truth to their leaders. In Burkina Faso, until it is important for us to contribute so that the FDS is equipped, the deputies no longer have a salary. Today, they only have transfers allowances. The salaries of the ministers has been reduced to the maximums, and the people contribute. We cannot fight and want the leaders to be in an insulting luxury. The people must wake up and demand this for their leaders. To conclude, I therefore launch an appeal to all the people of AES through you so that we remain united and solid. All suffering has an end. The struggle we have engaged, it is hard, but we must remain with our head on our shoulders, because the fatal weapon of imperialism remains manipulations through communications. Know how to recognize the local suitcases. Know how to recognize the saloon slaves. Know how to recognize all those who are bribed to come and sell you false information. For yourself, stay calm and do not divide. Because imperialism has 1,000 tricks up its sleeves. You must be vigilant and very vigilant. Thanks to you, the VDP, therefore, from the different cities who watch day and night so that our homeland remains standing, and therefore pay tribute every day to the SDF and the VDP who are fighting at the front. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you to all those who came here so that we can talk to each other. Thank you to all those who are outside who could not have access. The homeland or dead, we are going to win. Africa, wake up. Africa, rise up. Africa without borders. And break the chain of new colonialism. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.